big story of the day, that is Jet Airways has temporarily suspended its operations. I have Utkarsh Chaturvedi as well as Ruchi Bhatia joining us on the phone line this morning. Good morning, Ruchi, and good morning, Utkarsh. Utkarsh, first coming to you. Jet is headed for a crash landing in today's strait. Lenders have refused to refuel the cash-starved carrier with emergency funds. The lack of funds have forced Jet into a temporary shutdown. The Jet staff is to meet the management today. Utkarsh, what are you what are you picking up? Walk us through the proceedings of what exactly happened at Jet Airways.
So, Cheryl, if you look at the future of Jet Airways from now on, it's very hazy at this point of time because till yesterday also, there were some flights flying. If you look at the whole last 1 week, you had 7 or 6, 80 hours only flying to short distances. So anyhow, the airlines operations were curtailed to a skeletal operation. But what happened yesterday was that they have decided to temporarily shut down. Now, the thing to look at when it comes to Jet Airways is that can this airline be revived from here on? Looks very difficult. Why? One, given the fact that there is a temporary suspension, now DGCA has all the liberty to take the routes and give it to other airlines. Speaking about the country, speaking about cities like Bombay and Delhi, where there is a lot of crunch when it comes to routes, and a lot of new routes will open up, and there will be a lot of new players. Somebody like a Vistara, Indigo, SpiceJet, all of them will be ready to take those routes. Once the route is gone, what is left in the airline? Nothing. Then you speak about the aircraft. There are only 17 aircraft to Jet Airways owns that are also old aircraft. You're talking about old A330, you're talking about old 737, which are anyhow Jet has not been able to sell while it was in the process of the whole restructuring and the turnaround. And lastly, speaking about the employees, now the employees obviously will be meeting today. There has been marathon rounds of meeting. In fact, if you look at the past 1 week, every day at the Jet Airways office, you'll have some protest, some meeting, some gathering happening. Today is when the final meeting. When we spoke to the pilots union yesterday, they have clearly said they will take the legal route. They can in fact go to NCLT. But the question is whether pilots go to NCLT, whether companies go to NCLT. Is there anything left in a company called Jet Airways who does not own any planes now? The only planes it owns are not really good. The routes are going, the slots are going. Is there any value left in Jet Airways to revive? Is there anything left in that airline to revive? Is the bigger question.
Because that's the bigger question, is anything left to revive? But Ruchi is also joining us on the phone, right? Ruchi, there are a series of meetings lined up today. DGCA and other regulators have ensured that they are monitoring the situation carefully to ensure that all existing routes are followed, rules are followed strictly. So what are you picking up?
Absolutely. So it really boils down to what happens today. Yesterday, we at TT Now were the first ones to have reported that the lenders have rejected the demand for the additional 400 crores that Jet management was seeking. And thereafter, we did hear from Utkarsh how a temporary shutdown could happen, which got confirmed in an hour's time. So where from here now? The lenders are in a hurry because they want the bidding process to happen, and they want to finish the entire bidding process by the 10th of May. As far as the pilots go, the pilots are going to sit on the dharna today. They will be meeting the management today to figure out that what is in it for them. They have not been paid for the last 3 months. As far as the government goes, we're given to understand that the Secretary of Ministry of Civil Aviation will be convening a meeting with airports in the first half and airlines in the second half today to coordinate and address any emerging issues that are there on capacity slots and passenger convenience as well. So basically, as far as the slots go, I think as Utkarsh was pointing out, the slots are also up for grabs. As far as the lenders go, they have really missed the opportunity to have revived the airline. The government gave them a choice, gave them a solution, and thereafter we did see how the lenders could not really work on that solution in a time-bound manner. Now we're in the midst of the election season. The government is going to keep a hands-off approach. They are not going to intervene, and the way we are seeing it, Jet is really at the end of the runway. They have shut shop, they have shut operations, and to really revive an airline that is shut is very, very difficult, which means that what is in it for the bidders to even bid for. As Utkarsh was pointing out, it is very difficult to revive Jet from this point of time, and looks like now the Aviation Ministry is just going to get together, and DGCA will get together to give up the slots, to give up some of those slots that were there with Jet Airways, to really end of the runway for them. And of course, passenger inconvenience is definitely there. Some of the refunds have not been paid. And the way we are seeing it, Cheryl, at this point of time, there could be a possibility that some enforcement agencies may also be looking into what happened at Jet. Why did the airline go bust?
All right, Ruchi, now that the enforcement, like you mentioned, it'll be a bigger story if the enforcement team also starts looking into what exactly went wrong at Jet Airways. We'll get in touch with you, both Ruchi and Utkarsh. Thank you for joining us this morning. We'll get in touch with you as and when we get latest update on Jet Airways. Moving on, then, it's a sad situation for the whole aviation ministry. That's the word coming in from Bhaskar Bhatt, who's the chairman of Vistara. He feels that these overnight changes won't result in any policy. This entire grounding of Jet Airways will not result in overnight policy changes at the ministry level, but he still believes that the aviation market in India is the fastest growing. Jet's temporary shutdown is surely a setback. That's the word coming in. Listen in.
It's a real pity that this has happened. It shouldn't have happened. It's not good for the industry. It's not good for employees. It's not good for passengers. I mean, those who have been stranded, and those, Jet Airways has been around for 25 years, and it's a lesson for all of the rest of us in the industry. I feel very, very sad that this has happened, because not just for those who ran Jet Airways and who work for Jet Airways, but for the passengers as well. And it doesn't, it's not a good sign for the industry. In the market, which is one of the fastest growing in the world, potentially likely to become the third largest aviation market in the world, an event like this where, the premier full-service airline stops its operations, even though temporarily, is a little surprising, and it means the industry needs to get into a huddle at least and figure out, how we can see. It is not just a single airline. It's about aviation industry being attractive to several people who would like to partner and come into the country, not just from outside, including those who are associated. I'm talking about employees. It is a large employer, this industry. And events like this will not go well at all. Single event like this cannot just, overnight trigger policy changes. We have to navigate through this well, especially in the interest of employees and passengers. The how-to has to be worked out between the airlines and the government. I wouldn't put the entire responsibility on government alone.
That's the Vistara chairman, Bhaskar Bhatt. But joining us on the phone line right now is Jitendra Bhargava, who is a former ED at Air India. Thank you, Mr. Bhargava, for joining us this morning. Jet Airways has gone ahead and temporarily suspended their operations. What will be the next step for Jet Airways, and how severe will be the impact for the entire aviation market as a whole? Like we heard Mr. Bhaskar Bhatt also say that it's not a good sign for the entire industry.
It is undoubtedly not a good sign, but it was also inevitable. I've been saying this for a very, very long time, that the market dynamics do not favor full-service carriers. They are in no position to sustain their operations profitably. Since majority of the passengers in domestic market patronize low-cost carriers, they work from a low-cost platform and therefore can fix a certain fare. The fare difference between low-cost airlines and full-service carriers is almost negligible, does not help airlines recover the cost of additional amenities that they offer. Now, if you are going to have this kind of a scenario, I don't think, you see, Air India is being funded by the government, so we are not feeling alarmed about it. But the reality is that all full service carriers are losing money. Now, we have on record the Indigo promoter Rahul Bhatia. We've had Ajay Singh who spikes it on record that fares need to go up. But the moment fares go up, even momentarily, there is a tremor. Why is our airline fleecing? If you recall, we had a parliamentary committee headed by Derek O'Brien who said airlines are fleecing. Now, if airlines were indeed fleecing, then in the quarterly results that they gave out, there should have been humongous profit being made by them, which isn't the case. So we need to understand the reality, the market dynamics. The affordability is one factor. Economic viability of airlines is totally another. Now, if we ignore the economic viability in chasing market share at the expense of profitability, I think we'll only have instances of airlines shutting down. Kingfisher was some years ago. Now you had Jet Airways. Now the question is there hope for Jet Airways? Now, if the sustainability is to be looked at, how do you ensure it? Somebody is going to be putting in his money. Now, if they're not going to get returns on that investment, why would they be interested? Now, banks have already going to be taking a big haircut in this whole deal. The reality is banks, I think, bit a little too much when they decided, okay, we will work out the restructuring plan. They don't have the core competence in the airline industry. They've made a whole lot of promises on March 23rd when they made Naresh Goyal step down. Do we have a chairman? No. There was a management team that was to be put in place. They failed to do so. Then the 1,500 crore rupee is the other thing. So with so much of uncertainty having been infused instead of money, now it's a very sad day that this is what we've been witnessed, because Jet Airways has served the industry for 26 long years, as it offers a good product, but if it is not economically viable, where is the future?
Like you said, that now for Jet Airways to fly, it will be an uphill task also to get the airlines back and running. But Mr. Bhargava, what about the 20,000 odd employees who will be out of job also? Let's not, yesterday when we spoke to the NAG, they said that they are looking at the NCLT route. Do you think that that is the way to go for now for with regards to Jet Airways? Will it be prudent now to go to NCLT?
You see, if you really look at the facts in the proper perspective, something should have been done months ago. It's a standard practice in the aviation industry that when an airline faces financial turbulence, the first thing that you do is to downsize your operations, consolidate your finances. Nothing of this was done by Jet Airways. Then you had the promoter of Jet Airways, Naresh Goyal, sticking on as chairman, even though Etihad and others, lenders, made it very clear that they cannot work with him. Banks, unfortunately, in spite of having put in 8,200 crores, did not seek a seat on the board of Jet Airways. So they had a free run of what they do. One can sympathize with the employees, but employees also need to ask that are there emoluments that they are getting, the benefits that they are getting in consonance with the market rates. They are much higher. As we all know, that the people who have quit Jet Airways to join other airlines have taken a sizable cut on their emoluments, clearly indicating that Jet was cost heavy. Now, somebody will have to rationalize the income, the emoluments, keeping in view what the market can afford. Now, you can't be working in isolation. Gone are the days when Air India operated in isolation. Jet Airways only had Air India as a competitor. Now we are in a highly competitive environment. The salaries must match as do the revenues. So there has to be a total relook, introspection as far as Jet Airways is concerned, if full service carriers have to be profitable. You see, we overlook one fact. The quality of a product is one thing, but are passengers willing to pay for the product, the quality tech product? Kingfisher was an excellent product, but could never make profit. Likewise, Jet Airways is a good product, but are the passengers paying for it? The passengers are price sensitive in our country, and this is some psyche that we cannot change. So it will be the airlines that will have to make changes, tweak their business model.
All right, then. Thank you, Mr. Jitendra Bhargava, for joining us this morning and giving us your perspective. You also said that how difficult it is for a full service carrier to function in the country, and it's difficult now to see jet get back on its feet.
Okay, what we have been told by our sources is that the decision has been taken, and it is any time as we speak, in the next half an hour or 1 hour, the communication will start going to respective people.
Quickly address the breaking news on your screen. Jet Airways has finally come out with an official clarification that they are going to temporarily suspend the flight operation.
10:30 will be the last flight.
Anchors have put their foot down. This is a story that you heard first on ET Now. The government does not want to be seen either favoring an airline, neither do they want to be seen, pushing the lenders.
All of these negotiations in the last 2 weeks, nothing were really held under the power of law.
With the action that we've seen from the bank over the last 3-4 months has obviously been on the contrary. Today's jet has no value. Pilot morale is shattered, flight attendants have moved on, engineers are looking for jobs. What are you going to buy in Jet Airways? There is no value anymore of jet.
We do not know who is going to buy the airline, and if Jet Airways can be revived again. That is $1 million question.
Besides the humanitarian angle to the employees, we're also talking about massive passenger insecurity that is taking place at the moment.
A single event like this cannot just overnight trigger policy changes. We have to navigate through this well, especially in the interest of employees and passengers.